Welcome to the 2022 Golf Summer Series race number 12. Tonight we're here at the Myrtle Beach Speedway for the Denny's 400. On this beautiful night here in this popular summer vacation spot, 38 of the summer's best have come to this historic short track to kick off our southeast swing. But before we get started, let's take a look at our starting lineup. So on the pole is the 42 of Ryan Roberts, who won our first short track race early this year at Vancouver, and Exzel, the 1 of RC Gamer. Row 2, we got the 2 rookies of Xavier in the 33 and the 76 of Noah Clifton. Row 3, Brendan Beal, who won this race last year, and Exzel second in points in the winner for last paved short track race, Andrew Williams in the 23. Row 4, Keisha Richardson and Ryan Wilson. Row 5, This Powwow and Johnny Hernandez. Row 6, Nathan Stapleton coming off 3 straight top 10 finishes, and Exzel the 13 and Matthew Burnett. Row 7, Jason Albert in the 80, and Exzel his former teammate Danny Matteillo in the 17. Row 8, Alex Cass Stevens in the 12, and the 10 of Ross McBarola. Row 9, Kyle Salmon and Random J. Row 10, Matthew Hill and Nathan Baird. Row 11, the one from the last race at Montreal, Nick Sand the 20, and Exzel defending series champion Hoodlum. Row 12, Braden Carruthers and Roberto Crown. Row 13, Caleb Rose and Bradley Reim. Row 14, Dan McBarola and Lipsy. Row 15, current points leader Richard Herman and Trey Smith in the 22. Row 16, got both the Dracoan cars of David Johnson and Owen Miles. Row 17, Calvin Baker and Aiden Robertson. Row 18, we got the 2 Jordans of Jordan Forbes and Jordan Stout. And row 19, Joe T in the 8 car and the 28 of Gaming Creek. Taking a look at the track info here for the night's race, we're going to go 80 laps on this approximately half-mile long short track with 13 degrees of banking in the corners. And as for the weather here tonight, 78 degrees Fahrenheit with 11 miles per hour towards the southwest. And you can see the past 2 Myrtle Beach winners, Sean Art in 2020 driving a Ford, or of course Brendan Beal last year driving a Dodge. And with that being said, it is now time for our starting command here in Myrtle Beach.
Drivers, start your engines!
Hope everyone's having a great summer thus far as you enter the second half of our final Golf Summer Series season. As here we go, ready to pace cars down pit road as the fans are all on their feet here at Myrtle Beach, ready to see the summer's biggest stars for one last time. And here we go, coming towards the front stretch, Ryan Roberts and RC Gamer lead the field to green here in Myrtle Beach. And already into turn number 1, that's a great start for the outside, led by RC Gamer, as it looks like he'll clear the 42. Going into turn number 2 this time by until Roberts fights back on the inside. But down the back and into turn number 3, RC with Rivera on the outside, as Roberts remains side by side for second with Clifton. And coming off turn number 4 is going to be number 1 of RC Gamer leading lap number 1 here at Myrtle Beach. Meanwhile, Roberts continues to fight hard for second with Clifton, with 2 other rookies behind him of Xavier and Williams. Clifton with the advantage down the back straight, but into turn number 3 is going to be another great run for Roberts on the inside, as they're once again neck and neck off turn number 4. Meanwhile, behind him, the rest of the field are still side by side, with Xavier having the side advantage over Andrew Williams. And in the one there, Roberts and Clifton nearly touch, as the 76 once again is the advantage off turn number 2, will he finally clear the 42 this time by down the back straight. Looks like he finally will into turn number 3, as Clifton moves up to second, with Roberts second in the third. Currently second to fifth for all rookies, but behind them are the highest ranked veterans, with Brendan Beal side by side with Ryan Wilson coming to lap number 4 this time by, with the 48 having the side advantage over the 16. Down the back straight, looks like Wilson's going to hold on to 6, as Beal could possibly fall down to 8th, as he's currently side by side with Johnny Hernandez in the 46. Off of 4, looks like Beal will hold off Hernandez for the 7th spot, as the latter is now going to be side by side with Keisha Richardson in the 24. Now, despite this top center so all being single file, we still got plenty of side-by-side action going on right behind. Off for turn 2 comes Hernandez with another great run on the outside. And he's once again side-by-side with Beal for the 7th spot. Of course, John is considered one of the best short track racers in the Brand MJ series, as just 2 straight Bristol night race wins, as well as 2 other victories at Martinsville and Pittsburgh. Meanwhile, back to the leader of RC Gamer in the 1, as so far he's led every single lap and leads Clifton by 0.3 of a second. As RC comes off turn number 4, he'll lead another lap as he comes to lap number 7 of 80 this time by. Still a long way to go here in this rather short race. And it looks like the gap that time by between RC and Clifton remained about the same. However, RC did gain about 100th of a second over the 76. As going into this race in the point standings, Clifton was 31st in the standings after losing 3 spots after the last race at Montreal. And that's what pulls sort of Roberts in the 42. Despite winning early this year at Vancouver, he is all the way down in 35th in the standings. However, did gain 1 position after the last race at Montreal. And in addition to aforementioned winner, Vancouver is actually the only top 10 that 42 has all season after 11 races. As for Andrew Williams in the 23, he's actually up to 2nd in the point standings, only 7 points behind Richard Herman of the 95, being nowhere to seen as of right now. Tonight could be a great opportunity for your current Rookie of the Year leader to also become a new points leader. And to round off the rest of the rookie quadfecta inside this top 5 is the 33 of Xavier, who came to this race 32nd in the point standings, and he has 1 top 5 to his name. 6th place is Ryan Wilson in 48, who came to this race 26th in the point standings, with only 2 top 10s to his name this year. Johnny Hernandez still holding on strong to 7th, who as I mentioned earlier, is one of the most decorated short track racers in his entire Random J series. Of course, highlighted by his 2 straight Bristol night race wins, the only driver to win the same race back-to-back years. Speaking of last year, there's last year's Myrtle Beach winner, Brendan Beal in the 16. He came this race 33rd in the point standings and has been very disappointing in the first half of the Summer Series season thus far. But behind him at 9th is Matthew Burnett in the 13, who has 2 short track wins to his name, IRP and Martinsville, both coming from last year. And to round off the rest of the top 10 is the 24 Keisha Archison, who came this race 16th in the point standings, and has been pretty much bouncing up and down between the top 10 and the point standings throughout this entire summer so far. There's Matteillo in the 17, currently in 11th. Had a promising start to his Summer Series season, and he was actually inside the top 10 after the first few races, but is now down to 24th in the point standings after yet another bad race for that 17. Meanwhile, quickly back to leader of RC Gamer in the 1 car, who now leads Clifton by almost 0.4 of a second. And despite RC being a second-year driver, he's still looking for his first ever Golf Summer Series win, as so far this year, he came to Series 28 for the point standings, moving 3 spots after Montreal. And no, please don't make that same overused joke again with those 2 numbers, please. But yeah, so far this year for RC, it's been rather underwhelming once again. He's just coming off his first top 5 of the entire season at Montreal, finishing 5th. But so far, that 1 car has looked absolutely fantastic here tonight. And if he does indeed win here tonight, he will continue the trend of having a different winner for every race. So really going to show you how much parity we've had this year and one last summer. Looking back at the other leaders, Clifton now trails by exactly 0.4 of a second behind RC, while Roberts trails by around 0.6 of a second. But that might change here coming this time by to lap number 16. It looks like both of them actually did close the gap a little bit, but still not really much in the grand scheme of things. Continuing down the running order, starting with this powwow in the 7, currently in 12, who's probably having the worst season I could ever imagine anyone having. He's currently dead last in the point standings with 4 DNFs, with only a single top 10 coming from the Roval back in May, and is currently one of only 2 drivers who have earned less than 200 points this season. A couple spots up, there's Keisha Archon trying to work on Matthew Burnett for the 9th position. As in the 1 that time by Keisha got a great run off the 13, but Burnett continues to pull away in the 13 off turn number 2, and now in the back straightaway once again. 13th is Ross McRoll in the 10, came to this race 15th in the point standings after a strong run at Montreal, moving up 7 positions in the point standings. Behind him in 14th is kind of a big shocker here tonight. Nathan Stapleton in the 97, who of course just cracked the top 10 in the point standings for the first time since our first race at Armory Digital, and has come off a streak of 3 consecutive top 10 finishes, with 2 of them being top 3s. But so far it's been pretty disappointing for that 97 team, especially compared to his teammate of Noah Clifton. 15th is Random J in the 53, who came this race 21st in the point standings, and lost 6 positions after being caught up in a wreck at Montreal. Behind him at 16th is Nathan Baird in 87, who actually had one of his better runs at Montreal, as he was able to finish 7th. The 87 was able to move up to 20th in the point standings, and behind him is the 80 car Jason Albert, currently running in 17th. Unfortunately for Albert and the 80 team, he had a bad race at Montreal. He came to race 29th in the point standings after losing a gear at the 2.7 mile road course. 18th is the defending series champion of Hoodlum, having a mediocre night here so far, as he looks to get back inside the top 10 in the point standings, as he's currently 11th. 19th is Alex Siemens in the 12, who came to this race 36 in the point standings, with the only real highlight so far from this year. With the only real highlight for that team so far is leading the most laps at Vancouver back in race number 2 in May. And to round off the rest of the top 20 is Kyle Salmon in the 38 car, who came to this race 17th in the point standings. 21st, one of many major point leaders back here, is Matthew Hill in the 90 car, who came to this race 4th in the point standings as he dropped the position after Montreal. And speaking of Montreal, just the winner from Montreal, Nick Sand in the 20 and 22nd as he came to this race 7th in the point standings. And behind him in 23rd is the 6th of Bradley Reim, the first time he's been inside the top 5 in the point standings ever since Daytona. 24th is Britton Carruthers in the 18, who's been pretty much stuck in the 34th position in points for the past couple races so far. 25th is Roberto Crown in the 31, who of course won outdoors just a few races ago, as he came into this race 23rd in the point standings. 26 and 27 for two big-name Relfan drivers, Caleb Rose in the 19 and Lipsy in the 9 car, as those two came in this race 12th and 8th in the points respectively. But a fellow Dodger, Trey Smith in 27th, came in this race 37th in the point standings, and is the only other driver besides Powell to have under 200 points so far this year. Dan McBro in the 99, currently 29th, but behind him is the points leader Richard Herman in 30th. And it's very similar to our last race at Montreal. Herman started rather deep in the field and hasn't really made up any ground so far. And especially with Ruins being inside the top 5 and came to this race only 7 points behind the 95, tonight could possibly spell doom for Herman's points lead. Owen Miles and Aiden Robertson are currently running 31st and 32nd respectively. Behind him is Jordan Stout in the 11 car. Came to this race 19th in the standings after losing 7 spots after Montreal. They're on an absolute downward spiral the past couple races thus far. While David Johnson, currently 34th, is currently 25th in the standings. Gamer Freak is currently 35th as he came to this race 30th in the point standings. Jordan Ford, who came to this race 3rd in the point standings, is back here in 36, as that team cannot afford to lose another spot in the standings after Montreal. The 2020 Summer Series champion Kellen Baker is also back here in 37th, as he came to this race 14th in the standings, whereas Joe T is currently last in 38th, came to this race 6th in the standings, as that inconsistency continues to plague the 8 team so far this summer. Meanwhile, coming to complete lap number 28 of 80 here at Myrtle Beach, as we're on board Mel Clifton, with RC Gamer still leading by 0.4 of a second. And off a 2 that time by, that was a great run for RC, but we're going to see what Clifton's going to do here down the back straightaway and now into turn number 3. Coming to lap number 30 this time by, I was like, no, the gap's going to be exactly the same once again, as Roberts falls down to over 0.7 of a second behind the 1. And almost like every other short track we go to, the leader always gets a good run off the corners and in the straightaways, while the driver behind gets good runs off the corners, but just never is able to take advantage of them. But as we come to lap number 31 this time by, it's time for another edition of Golf Super Series Crank It Up. lap number 42 of 82 here in Myrtle Beach as RC Gamer continues to lead in the one car. With us being past halfway, he will get the bonus points for leading the most laps here tonight. In addition as well, RC has a good chance of becoming the 12th different winner this year in the Summer Series, continuing the streak of a different winner for every race. Meanwhile, behind in second, Noah Clifton in the 76 has caught up a little bit as the gap is now down to less than 4 tenths for a second, while Wright Robertson third has also slightly caught up as he trails RC by around 6 tenths for a second. Meanwhile, frail rookie Andrew Williams in the 23, who came this race second in the point standings, trails RC by around 9 tenths for a second as he's currently fourth. Continuing on the subject with GSS winners these past couple races, 2 out of the last 3 races produced first-time winners, and with RC continuing to lead, the laps continuing to wind down, there's a very good chance RC Motorsports Commander-in-Chief can get his first win here tonight. Meanwhile, Noah Clifton in the 76 is also trying to get his first career GSS win, as he came also close to the last paved short track race of Iowa, as he was running second right behind leader at the time Andrew Williams for the vast majority of the race. And speaking of the Iowa winner, Andrew Williams, I mentioned he came this race second in the point standings. This could be a golden opportunity for that 23 to take over that points to lead, as Herman is still well below the top 20. We got RC down pit road in the one car. Now, this was actually going to be the next topic I was going to bring up before we're talking about the 23, but when it comes to timing your pit stops during green flag conditions, it is absolutely everything. We've seen races here in the past being determined on when these leaders came down pit road. And so far, RC is the only driver down pit road, as everybody else led by Noah Clifton in 76, who takes over the lead for the first time tonight, will stay out on the racetrack. Coming to lap number 48 this time by, definitely expect to see a lot more drivers come down pit road this time by. As like both Clifton and Roberts are getting ready to come down pit road, as well as move down to the inside off turn number 2, as now down the back straight here they come down pit road. It's about the 76 to 42 and Akisha Arnson, the 24 Stigma coming in that time by, but stays out at the very last minute. Morgado saw a large majority of drivers staying out, with Andrew Williams now taking the lead as we come to lap number 49 this time by. There you see RC just getting off of pit road, as Gaming Freak in the 28 car also came down this time by. As I take a look at the rest of the field, we've got some drivers ready to come down pit road, like Trey Smith and Brad Reim, and other drivers as well, like Brendan Beal, Burnett, Random J, among others. Looks like the leader of this group was Ryan Wilson, the 48 car, as he was into the top 10 up until this point. Now, despite this being our shortest track as well as one of the most out there tracks, the pit road riff is actually pretty respectable, especially for a track this size, and is even more wider compared to other bigger tracks like the 2-mile-long Texas World. And now we'll come to the main leaders of Andrew Williams, Xavier, and Johnny Hernandez down pit road this time by, with Keisha Arnson and Dan Matteillo also to follow. It looks like so far the only 4 drivers yet to pit is Ross Perot in the 10, Nick Sand the 20, the 99 of Dan Marola, and the 2 of David Johnson, as we're still on the racetrack. See Gaming Crew already back on the track as he did his pit stop earlier, as you saw. And now we'll come to those final 4 down pit road as everybody else wraps up the pit stop here. And now on track, here's potentially about for the lead as they make contact going into turn number 1 between RC and Clifton as they go into turns 1 and 2, with Clifton going very wide down the back straightaway this time by. But into 3, RC is going to clear to 76, and with the 10 of McMurrow still on pit road, RC will come to the start-finish line to take back the lead as we come to lap number 52 this time by. And yeah, that was definitely a fantastic pit strategy for that one team, and especially if this race stays green, as so far we've not had a caution so far. It could potentially be the second race this year we've went caution-free. RC could potentially have this race in the bag unless if Clifton catches up or if he gets hindered by the lap cars, which have played a factor in many races in the past. And speaking of which, RC is catching up to one right now, your 2020 Summer Series champion, Kellen Baker. Meanwhile, as for Clifton, he trails by almost a full second behind the one car, with the 48 of Wilson now down the 4th, as Robertson, the 42, just got around him. And 5th is Brendan Beal in the 16, desperate for a good points run. Same goes we said for Random J in the 53, who's currently 6th. The first time he's been in the top 10 all night. Also behind him, Johnny Hernandez in 7th, while Ross McRoll is up to 8th in the 10 car, while Keisha Arnson is down to 9th in the 24. As behind him, there's a battle for that final top 10 spot between Hodem and Andrew Williams. McNeil make contact going into turn number 1, with Williams clearing the 88 car on the inside. But down the back straightaway, the defending series champ still fighting back on the outside, as Williams still has the slight advantage on the inside. Behind him in 12th is Nick Sand, the 20, while Matthew Hill is currently 13th in the 90 car. Nathan Stapleton about the same where he was before the pit cycle is in 14th, while Cal Salmon's 15th in the 38, with Dan Matteillo to the inside of him. going into turns 1 and 2 this time by. Battle for second now. Here comes Roberts side by side of Noah Clifton into turns 1 and 2 this time by. As the two also nearly touched into turn 1 that time by. That's been always a tricky corner to get around someone. But off of turn 2, Roberts has the advantage over Clifton. And will clear to 76 going into turn number 3. Coming to lap number 58 this time by is the 42 back up to second place. As RC continues to lead by over 2.4 seconds. And speaking of RC, here's another lap car to deal with. This time is teammate Aiden Robertson in the 54 car as it going into turn number 3 this time by, as the 1 is already right behind the back bumper of the 54. Coming to lap number 59, you saw a glimpse of Jordan Forbes as well as the rest of the other lap drivers. And especially if this race stays green, RC will definitely catch him in no time. But as for Robertson, RC's having a hard time of clearing his teammate through turns 1 and 2 as he looks at the inside of the 54, going into turns 3 and 4 this time by, with Robertson still not budging. All 4 RC's going to be side by side of Robertson. Coming to lap number 60, will he finally clear his teammate this time by? As in the 1 and 2 nearly make contact, as RC will finally clear the 54 off turn number 2. As those past couple laps lost some time for RC. But fortunately for the 1, here's Roberts trying to go on Calvin Baker through turns 3 and 4. As this is more than likely going to open back up the gap. RC just lost into 54. Coming to lap number 61, Roberts is still a side by side of Calvin Baker as you go into turn number 1 this time by. Off 2, looks like Roberts will clear Calvin Baker. But unfortunately, the damage to any momentum Roberts had has been done, as the gap is back up to 2.3 seconds, possibly more as we're on board the 42 this time by. And it looks like the gap, nearly back to 2.4 seconds where it was before the lap traffic began for both RC and Roberts. And with Aiden Robertson coming up soon here for Roberts, it could possibly hurt his chances even more of catching up with the 1 car. Meanwhile, here's Brendan Beal getting around Noah Clifton for 3rd as it comes to lap number 63 this time by. As this is going to cause Clifton to lose yet another spot down to 4th, or Hernandez is right behind him in 5th. As the round goes Owen Miles off for turn number 4. And this will bring the caution out for the first time tonight. And despite this caution being a rather simple spin and a minor incident all things considered, this will change the entire course of this race, as this will bring the entire field back together. Obviously, that time by RC led in the 1 car, as we're going to take a look at the instant replay to see what caused our first caution here tonight. So all this started going into turn number 3, where Owen Miles was racing the 2 Chevys, first in points Richard Herman, and last in points this Powell into 7. So into 3, Powell gets to the inside of Miles, and then the 2 make contact on that left rear, sending Miles into the wall and spinning. Fortunately for Miles, there doesn't appear to be too much damage on that car, but still a tough break regardless. Let's go on board with this Powell to get a better angle here. And yeah, Powell just kept leaning and leaning on the 37, so eventually spinning him out. On board with Matthew Burnett in the 13. And whoa, he was fairly close to hitting Miles there. And it looks like fortunately everybody else was also able to avoid that, as they're under caution for the first time here tonight at Myrtle Beach. Welcome back to the Golf Summer Series here at Myrtle Beach. We're about to go back green after Owen Miles in the 37 got turned by the 7 in this powwow off of turn number 4. Fortunately for Miles, nobody else was involved and didn't get too much damage to his 37. Currently a top 3 is RC Gamer in the 1 car. He's won just about every single lap thus far, followed by the 42 of Wright Roberts and the 16 of Brendan Beal. As we got cars already speeding through turns 3 and 4. With the pace car already down pit road. Coming back to the green flag officially off turn number 4 here with RC the leader. As all Williams and Wilson make contact into turn number 1. As a 23 sent Wilson into the grass there, but was able to save it. As RC and Roberts are going to come down pit road for some reason here. We're hearing Summer Series officials are penalizing both the 1 and 42 for jumping the start. Definitely tough breaks for both drivers there, but my question is, why not penalize everyone else? Because they weren't the only ones who jumped the start. But despite that, Brendan Beal in the 16 is now a new leader, followed by Johnny Hernandez in the 46 and the 10 of Ross Picarola, as you just got around Noah Clifton for that spot. With the 90 of Hill and the 53 of Random also in this picture as well. Dave Matteillo in the 17 also is at the top 10 here tonight, while Owen Miles in the 37, who was a lap down after that aforementioned caution, who for whatever reason did not restart in the back. Oh, Andrew Williams gets turned into turn number 2. There's a cause of caution to come out. Oh, Miles piles in. Aiden Robertson, hoodlum, and everybody else piles in as we got a massive pile up off turn number 2. Brad Reim in the 6, I believe, has damage. Roberto Crown, Kyle Salmon, Richard Herman. So this is going to be a massive, massive wreck involving several big point leaders and big name drivers. Trey Smith with damage. I think Jordan Stout also got involved in the 11. Of course, that time by Brendan Beal in the 16 was your leader as he attempts to win this race for a second year in a row. But anyways, let's take a look at these replays that caused this massive pileup off turn number 2. So Alden started going into turns 1 and 2. Watch the 20 of Nixon as he looks to the inside of Andrew Williams in the 23. So this was for the 5th position. Oh, Nixon just got into the left rear of Williams, just kept leaning and leaning on him, similar to Powell and Miles earlier. Then bam, there's Miles, Robertson piling in there with Hoodlum and everybody else behind them just piling in as well. With Richard Herman going airborne there a little bit in the 95. Just what a mess. Scroll boy of Nixon here. So Nixon got a run into turn number 1. And once he made contact with Williams' left rear, just could not get off of him and eventually sent him spinning. With scrum board of Richard Herman. So he tries to go below the apron, but has no room to do so. And has no choice but to move up the track, get piled into this madness. It gets off of it, but gets turned again by Powwow as your points shooter gets even more damage there. Scrum board of Nathan Stapleton. See if he was able to avoid. Oh! Nope, he was not able to avoid that as he rear-ended the back of Hoodlum there. Anyways, under caution again here at Myrtle Beach for this massive pileup off of turn number 2. Welcome back to the Golf Summer Series here at Myrtle Beach. We're about to go back green after a massive pileup off of turn number 2 involving the points leader of Richard Herman, second place of points Andrew Williams, among others. Currently the 3 cars out of the race is Owen Miles in the 37 and the 54 of Aiden Robertson. Currently the top 3 is Brendan Beal in the 16, followed by Johnny Hernandez in the 46 and the 10 of Ross McMarola. And one thing that's definitely worth mentioning at this point in the race, if we have another caution, it will be a green white checkered finish, which means that some of these drivers, especially ones that pitted early, may not make it the entire way of the race. And here we go, pace car down pit road with Beal and Hernandez speeding across turns 3 and 4 as we're back on the green here at Myrtle Beach. Oh my goodness, already! That's the 28 Gaming Freak alongside Random J, Dan McRoll, the 33 of Xavier, and the 87 of Nathan Baird. And this will bring the caution back out for the 3rd time here tonight. Just, what the hell even was that? It would take 5 seconds for another caution to come out. But there is one anyway, with Brendan Beal still your leader in the 16. He's coming below the apron to avoid these cars and possibly come down pit road. Is he going to come down pit road down here? Yes, he will. The 16 down pit road alongside Johnny Hernandez in the 46. So I mentioned this earlier. Some of these drivers, if they come down, especially early, will not have enough to make it. And so far, Beal and Hernandez are the only 2 leaders down pit road as the lead will transfer over to Ross McMarola into 10. Anyways, let's take a look at the instant replay to see what caused this really stupid wreck. So Alden started going to turn speed 4. Watch the 53 of Random J alongside the 33 of Xavier here. So they're coming to the start-finish line. I think Rick Roller turns Random into Gaming Freak, with Rick Roller coming down on the 33 and just mass chaos from there. Nathan Baird on 87 getting caught up in that as well. On board with Random here. Yep, definitely turned the 28 into the wall, as Random himself also got some damage from that as well. Going over with the 99. Yeah, definitely turned Random into the 28, but then also got turned himself into the wall and across the entire field. But anyways, we're under caution again here at Myrtle Beach. We'll be right back with the green-white checker and hopefully the finish of tonight's race. Welcome back to the Golf Summer Series here at Myrtle Beach. We're about to go back green after a multi-car incident that happened literally seconds after we restarted, involving Random J, Xavier, Gaming Freak, Nathan Baird, and Dan McMarola. The only driver to actually DNF from that is Nathan Baird in 87, who joins Owen Miles and Aiden Robertson as cars in the garage area. Currently in top 3 is Ross McMarola in the 10, followed by the 20 of Nixon trying to get a second straight GSS win, and the 76 of Noah Clifton in 3rd. And in addition, not everyone in this running order has enough fuel to make it, as I don't think they took into account that a green white checkered finish could happen, as the first 60 laps or so of this race were under green flag conditions. But here we go, pace car down pit road as McMarola and Nixon lead the field for our first green white checkered attempt. Into turns 1 and 2, the 2 remain side by side, with Nixon having his front advantage on the outside, as down the back straight because McMarola down pit road. Looks like, yep, the 10 is indeed out of gas, giving the lead to Nixon. But the question is, will we be able to make it one more lap and hold the 17 in Matteillo and Bay as you come to the white flag this time by? In the turns 1 and 2, Nixon moves down to the inside. McRoll does the exact same thing last lap. Is a 20 out of gas. We'll check down the back straight. Nixon's down pit road. He's out of gas. And in the turns 3 and 4 for the final time, Matteillo now with the lead in the 17. And looks like coming off turns 3 and 4 for the final time, it's going to be Dan Matteillo who wins here at Myrtle Beach. Congratulations to Dan Matteillo and Railfan Motorsports, the very winners of the night here at Myrtle Beach. In addition to this being Railfan's second win of the season after Texas World, this is also Railfan's second straight win at Myrtle Beach after last year of Brendan Beal, as well as our 12th different winner we've had in 12 races. So that streak will continue on here tonight at Myrtle Beach. Anyways, let's take a look at the finishing results and point standings after tonight's rather chaotic race. So here we go. Dan Matteillo finishes first in the 17, and in addition to winning here tonight, he also joins his corner of Brad Reim as the only 2 Summer Series drivers in history to win at least 1 race in every single season we've had. So definitely very impressive for the veteran here tonight. Meanwhile, the 2 rookies of Xavier and Noah Clifton finished 2nd and 3rd respectively, while David Johnson gets a much-needed top 5 finish, finishing 4th. Ryan Wilson finishes 5th in the 48 car, where Random J finishes 6th in the 53. Finishing 7th despite being involved in a massive pileup for a second caution is defending series champion of Photo. So great rebound there for the 88 team. Jason Albert finishes 8th in the 80 car. Matthew Burnett finishes 9th in the 13. And rounding up the top 10 is Diz Powell for his best GSS finish to date. And now for the point standings after race number 12, at the top 3 is all remains about the same, with Richard Herman still first in points with 341 points, and Andrew Room still in second, behind by 4. And I really feel like if Williams was not involved in that pilot for a second caution, he would have taken over the points lead over Herman. Meanwhile, Jonah Forbes is still 3rd in points, behind by 23, while Brad Reim is up to 4th in points, behind by 25. His teammate Lipsey's back inside the top 5 in points, behind by 28, while Matthew Hill is down to 6th, behind by 29. Joe T in the 8 car is now down to 7th in points, behind by 30, while Matthew Burnett in the 13 is up to 8th in points, behind by 32. Defending series champion Hoodlum is back inside the top 10 in points, behind by 34. While running off the rest of the top 10 is the 20 of Nixon, now behind by 37. So next up, race number 13, we head to one of the fastest tracks in the entire schedule for one of the longest races of the entire year, as we will come home to the Atlanta Motor Speedway for the running of the Carolville Ice Cream Cake 404. But anyways, y'all, thank you guys for watching this race. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys next time.